Republican Anthony Rogers has no previous political experience. Rogers, a comedian, is well known for a podcast called The Anthony Rogers Show.
Hey man, this is Tommy Chong, and right now you're listening to The Anthony Rogers Show.
Hey all you cool cats and kittens, it's Carol Baskin, and you are listening to The Anthony Rogers Show.
Hey y'all, this is Kevin from Candlebox. You are listening to the funny man, Anthony Rogers.
Hey, my name is Alex Sulkin, writer of Ted and Family Guy, and you're listening to The Anthony Rogers Show. Lucky you.
Let's face it, you're already drinking coffee every single morning, and then every 2 hours after that, I imagine. So drink good coffee. Go to revolutioncoffeecompany.com, link in the description. It's veteran-owned, great tasting coffee. Go there, support the sponsors now.
Watch or listen to the end of this episode for 3 songs by Smalty Soul.
Are those your records behind you? Your platinum and gold and stuff?
Thank you, dude. Yeah, you know, this is my little studio / office at home, and I've got my junk on the wall here, and I figured it makes a good backdrop for doing interviews, you know.
It looks like you're killing it, man. Is it, what records are those? Like to people that aren't rock stars? Like what? Like what?
Well, let's see. That is a gold record for the Punisher soundtrack. That's just for 10 million streams on Spotify for Don't Ever Leave. This is a gold record for our first album. This is for 50 million streams of the re-record of Bottom of a Bottle on Spotify. That is a gold record for the Spider-Man 2 soundtrack.
Dude, that's crazy.
And then these are just display that and this thing behind me is just display plaques of just different records.
All the albums you made and stuff.
Just putting stuff up, you know. It's nice to have little trophies for shit you've done, I guess.
No, it's badass. No, I think that's everyone's goal. Like I think that was like my goal as a kid to be like a musician, and then I realized I wasn't talented. You know, so you had to do that whole thing. But like that's like, I mean, that's every like fucking kid and adults probably, if they admitted it's dream. You know, I think it's an extension of like, you know, and like you were like blowing up and participating in music when it wasn't like lame. Like lame, it's like. Now, like, they call people, like, influencers instead of, like, famous and shit. It just sounds lame and discrediting, you know? It's just like, oh, look at this, like, influencer. And I'm like, that sounds so lame.
Oh, my God. It's crazy because it's funny that you mentioned that because, you know, back in the day, it was super cool to be in a band. You know, you'd be, like, proud to be like, oh, I'm in a band. That's what I, you know, for a living. Nowadays, it's, like, fucking embarrassing. It's like I'm in a band, you know? It's just not... It just doesn't have the same ring that it used to have, you know.
Well, because too many people ruin it for you. Like every person in a band, most of the people that say they're in a band don't have like gold records and stuff. Like and we're on soundtracks. Like they'll be, oh, I have a band, so they related to like this person that they knew that like pretended to have a band that no one told them sucked and like didn't do anything. And you know, they didn't put like their full energy into it or whatever. You know, you gotta do a lot of work to get that far. So they relate to all these people. And they're like, oh, I'm in a band. But like they don't relate to the actual people. Like, at least I don't. When someone's like, I have a band, I'm like, oh, okay. Like, I mean, like, unless they're like doing, you don't ever think they're doing shit. You never think that they're like one of the 5 bands doing shit. You know,
it does kind of make the eyes roll. Like, oh, I'm in a band. Okay, you know, the eyes roll. But even doing, you know, being in a band professionally and making my living off of it and having done it for 2 decades now, it's still embarrassing. It's like, you know, but I mean, you know, at the same time, I mean, I'm probably most proud of just having been my own boss for 20 years and made my living giving the finger to the system and not conforming to anyone or anything, any other things, ideas of what I should be or what I should do, including the record companies that we used to be on that pushed us hard in the very beginning, you know. So that's cool. You know, I'm more proud of that than the aspect of just being in a band. It's just being a survivor, you know.
No, it makes sense. Yeah, no, you see it like I can see you see it as a business too. It's like you have to have both. You have to have like the talent and the business for sure.
Yeah. That's you know, when we first started doing this, I was just a musician. I had the music part going, but I was forced to learn the business real fast unless I wanted to just work at Home Depot or something, because you know, our first record was on a major label and got a huge push, and but then we found ourselves kind of at odds with the label. The guy that signed us originally, the head of the label we were on, was pushed out of the label in between our first record and our second record, and we lost our status as a priority of the label, and it just got funky, and we found ourselves giving the finger to them, and the second record not being released because of it, and before you know it, we're kind of out on the streets trying to figure out what we were going to do next on our own. And if I didn't figure the business out at that point for myself, it would have just been game over. So I kind of had to adapt, start wearing, you know, more hats, and taking control of my career, in order to keep it all afloat.
No, it makes sense. Yeah, it's like yeah, yeah. It seems like the same thing like comedy. Like I have to do everything. Like everyone's like, oh, I need to like these. My buddies are comics too. And they're like, man, I just need a manager and an agent. I'm like, they're not gonna do anything, man. They're just like trying to take 20% of what you already have and to do no work. You know, it's like that's
Dude,
why.
I got ripped off by so many managers. You know, manager after manager would promise the world,
Oh yeah.
come in, try to take over the you know, control of the financial streams that are coming in, and then they're just taking your money and they're not bringing anything to the table. And you know, a few of those, and I realized, like, fuck these guys. Like, I'm going to do it myself. I'll control the financial stream. And you know, I mean, unless a manager is coming in and getting you on just crazy huge tours and opening up all these doors, of opportunity, then it's really just another person trying to, parasite off of you.
Yeah, yeah. They're basically like bookers or something. Like I mean, like
Yeah.
you don't have to take 20% to book somebody. Like it's weird. No, it's a weird concept. And I see that same thing in comedy. Like I see the same thing. I like it's just like a bunch of like yeah, you have to do everything yourself. That's kind of why I relate to your music. I think I kind of vibe that from your music. Like, and I have the kind of same kind of mindset to where like I mean, like silhouettes and shit. I mean, when you're just talking about now, I want to be like your parents and like just different but like the aspect of it, not just like, I mean, it's cool to have similarities to your family and shit, but like the outworking aspect of it and like making your dreams come true. You know, like I think that, I mean, that's just like, I mean, you still have that same kind of energy. I think you just summed it up in your youth, you know, like, but like in songs that people heard, you know, but I think like you still have that same kind of energy. But I think it's like, I think I relate a lot to that when I listened to the band and stuff like that. And like even the new stuff like that, I mean, it's just good, man. Like, I don't know.
I appreciate that, dude. It's definitely, like you said, you know, the lyrics at the beginning of my career were more focused on, you know, I mean, I was a teenager, so they were from that perspective. So they're from a different perspective now, but I'm still the same guy at heart, as far as you know, hard working, trying to achieve what I set out to achieve, and at the same time trying to not play the game, you know, trying to be, not a part of the system.
No, I think I relate to that a lot. I think that's what like what drew me to your band initially and stuff. And like, I mean, when you do that acoustic song and like singing like I did it for the drugs, still makes me laugh. Like I'm 35 years old and that still makes me laugh. You know, it's just like a funny, it's just like a fun, like a funny fucking thing like to say in a song, and like it sums up like, I don't know, that like that 20s angst kind of, and then like confusion and whatever that was, you know.
Yeah, you know, it's funny. I mean, when I wrote that song, I was partying very hard. You know, I mean, I was quite a partier in my early days, up until my mid 20s, and I just dropped all the partying cold turkey at the age of 25. But so the producer that was kind of, helping us along on that first album, and then getting our first record deal, and through that time period, he's like, you got to tell people that's like, you know, drugs is just a metaphor you know, whatever your passions and dreams are in life.
That's so terrible. That's so funny. Like,
and so that's what I did in those early interviews. I still have people coming up to me, you know, loving that song and wanting to talk about like the deeper meaning behind that song. And I'm just like, you know, that's cool and all, but
you're literally just saying I do it for the drugs.
I really was doing it for the drugs.
That's what it sounded like. No, it totally sounded like that. Like it's like it's not even like. But you're in a different area. Like 2001 pre-internet, you almost had to play the game like more. I think though, like you had a like they're like they're like paying your bills, like booking you. Like please just don't tell them you do drugs. Tell them it's like a fucking Please just tell them it's something else. And they'll search your fucking tour buses and shit. Like, you know, it's like I don't know.
But that type of you know, input is typical of what, you know, managers and labels and this team that you have around you.
Yeah.
You know, they're always gonna come in and wanna put in their 2 cents and mold the situation and I didn't like that very much, you know.
They want to live vicariously through the artist, but they're not the artist. You know what I mean? That's always the problem. It's like he's like, I'll have so many people, PR people and marketing people all give me so much advice about everything. Like man, you shouldn't like say this or that, and like that's not what people want. People just want authenticity. And if you're like faking yourself and putting filters in between yourself and the crowd, I mean, that's not what they relate to. People like you because you're you. They don't give a fuck about anything. You know, I mean, that's what I mean. When you read the YouTube comments and like fucking like what people say, like, they just authentically like you as a person, as an artist, you know. And like anybody else giving an idea like that's just like, I mean, maybe they could book, you know, they could do certain business things, but they can't fucking, you know what I mean? Let the artist be, you know.
Yeah, that's the biggest problem with this industry in general is that, you know, the gatekeepers of this industry to the upper echelons of promotion, because you can't become big. Like, you know, when you look at like the big bands or the big pop acts or the big rappers that are out there, 99% of those got there because the gatekeepers decided to push them to that place.
No, sure.
You can't get there without the approval of the gatekeepers and without all that money behind you, you know, to promote. And the only way that you get the gatekeepers to push you to that place is by playing their bullshit game. And so when you have them tell you, oh, you need to say this, or you need to do this, or, you know, that one song, maybe you could do this to that, or, you know, all the people that you listen to that are big are playing that game and allowing those gatekeepers to put their fingers in there and control to an extent and manipulate. And I just didn't, you know, we had that push in the beginning, and I just got to a place at a very young age where I was just like, fuck all these people. And I made the decision to not have that support anymore, in order to just do things the way I wanted to do them. And, you know, there have been times that I have thought, damn, I should have just played the fucking game. You know, where would I be right now if I played the game? But at the end of the day, I'm proud to not play the game, and I've still somehow survived, and I get to do things my way and on my terms, and I wouldn't have it any other way, you know.
I think that's the most important kind of freedom, like 100%. And I think I relate to that as an artist as well. Like I suck at music, but I relate to that for sure. You know, it's like that. And like and the gatekeepers are funny too, because like in the beginning, like in comedy in the beginning, it's like that. Like all the clubs you think you want to play and think you have to play, and it's probably the same way in music. Like they're all like, well, it is though the same way in music. I remember like promotion, like yes, you have to like buy tickets, whoever sells the most tickets or whatever, and all these like these weird schemy things that never go anywhere. Like you right. Sell the most tickets so many times. The same thing with like comedy was like all these people that like booked the room would keep the less funny people out so they would keep their job. So it's like their job security not to let the funniest people in there basically, because they'll just end up becoming the new hosts. You know what I mean? Right. So they keep all those people out, and like you have to bypass them and shit. Like you do so much shit like to, I don't know. You have to like go like 50 fucking like levels past him to come back, you know? It's like,
there's always a bullshit game going on behind the scenes that people don't realize, you know, and
yeah.
It's just a grind, you know. It takes a lot of work and takes a lot of like you said, learning that the industry and the business and finding ways around things. And there's just a lot that goes into it.
Yeah, like they're like comedians, they'd never book me. They'd be like, "Well, what's your video? Like, what? You send us a video, man, of like you doing comedy for like, ugh. Like they want me to like fucking like just like tape a fucking shitty video for like 10 minutes and like so I started like linking them to movies I was in. I was like, oh yeah, just I'm in this the ninth credit in this movie. I'm in this movie. Like that only video links I have, only video. Just like and start doing that. And you bypass the bullshit. You're just like shut the fuck. I'm not sending a fucking 10-minute video of my fucking self talking about something. You know what I mean? Is there an equivalent of that to music to where like they're like the venues are like, well, can you like fucking like circus bear this or that or whatever the fuck, it's like, is there some kind of weird shit you have to do with like booking like as a band like that?
Well, not booking, because at this point, in our careers, I feel like we just, the rooms
you already know where you are.
The rooms know if they want us there, and we're asking for a certain amount of money to play, and they just determine if it's worth it for them, if they can make money on buying that show, and we just roll. But there's still bullshit like that. Like
makes sense. You're a different place.
A buddy of mine was trying to convince me a few years ago to link up with this label that's a legit, nowadays rock label that he works with and is friends with. And I was like, well, I mean, I'm not, I would be open to working with a record company if.
Hey, how are you doing? Without sponsors like Delta Extrax, this show, wouldn't exist. They have these 2-gram vape pens that basically, it's like smoking weed or marijuana or whatever without the federal crime because it's legal. So a little bit of the paranoia goes away. Good product, Delta Extrax. Check out their link in the description and buy some stuff, support the sponsors.
If the circumstances were completely right, if the label was like already a fan of what I've been doing for the last 20 years and just wanted to prop that up and leave me alone, then I would be interested, but I'm not gonna play these games that I'm talking shit on right now to you in order to get back on a record company. I've had like 6 or 7 record deals, and I'm not like seeking that out.
They have nothing to offer you. I don't think they have anything to offer you. You're already an established artist. You got established like right at the end of when it mattered to be established, like before streaming took over. And like into streaming, you're doing well. Clearly, you have fucking plaques for it. But I'm just saying, like, but I just mean like, I think that it's a different. You could probably tour the rest of your fucking life off just off of gold records and shit. Honestly, like if you wanted to. Like
that's what I've been doing,
Yeah,
and
you don't have to.
And
yeah.
And I release my own music all on my own, and the digital world has made it basically. I mean, I can reach anyone in any country with my music, but what a label might have to offer me is hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of promotion that allows
placement on iTunes and shit. Like,
yeah, it just gets you priority, gets you on big playlists, so that you get put back in front of people's faces that may not realize you're still around, or even
new people that never
new people get turned on to you. So there is something to offer, but really what they have to offer is just a bank account. Are you
and a high interest loan? It's like an interest rate too. It seems like
right. Am I willing to give up my master on my record for them to push a certain amount of money behind it and get exposure, which can then lead to bigger guarantees if the exposure is really good. And so there's a benefit there depending on the situation. But so he was trying to get me to link up with this label, and the first thing the label was wanting, they were showing interest, but they wanted to see us live. And I was just like, what? Like,
yeah, you have to play those stupid parties. Like one of those stupid parties you got to play, like where you're like, is that what there was, like some like listening party kind of thing, or
no? They
go to a show.
They wanted us to come to New York and book a gig in New York that they could come to see us live. And I'm just thinking like, well, we did that, 20 years ago.
Yeah, it seems like a 19-year-old's game or a 20-year-old's game. If I was 20, I'd be all over it, do like that. But yeah, no, when you're like older, you're like, what the fuck? I already did that.
Well,
Yeah.
well, and especially for us, I mean,
Yeah.
we have like 9 albums out, over the course of 20 years.
Like look at YouTube. I'm like watch them live on YouTube. Like,
well, that's what there's literally like thousands and thousands of videos of us on YouTube playing for anywhere from a crowd of 10 people to a crowd of 50,000 people, and we've got like 30 music videos on YouTube. I mean, what do you need? Like, why do you need to like have us come play a showcase, which is what they used to call.
That's what they call. Yeah, that's right. Okay.
Those kinds of gigs. So at that point, I was just like, fuck that. I don't like playing New York City as it is because, you go into that city. I mean, that's a fucking nightmare.
Yeah, I don't ever want to go to New York or California,
especially now. But even before the Rona came in, I mean, the tolls, dealing with driving through New York City in a large vehicle, parking. I mean, everything about it is a total nightmare and undesirable.
Yeah, you have to bring equipment into New York City. I didn't think about that. Yeah, that's like fucking annoying. You gotta have like a drum set and shit. Like,
oh, dude,
that's fucking so awful. That sounds so awful. Yeah, no, I didn't even think about the equipment situation because I would just Uber places. Like, it still sucked and tolls and shit, but like, I'd Subway, Uber, whatever the fuck,
Yep. Yeah, no, I mean, I've literally driven a 45-foot tour bus with a 20-foot trailer on the back of it through New York City personally. So
that's fucking crazy.
I don't want to do that ever again.
No, it sounds awful.
I don't even. There's no point in going there anymore.
Yeah, it's dead.
Let alone to play a showcase for a label that seems interested in my band when we've been around professionally for 20 years. I mean, you just, like you said, go on YouTube, dude.
Yeah. A 20-year-old jump all over that though. That's what they want. They want these kids. That's why all these kids have record deals. They do whatever. Like
it goes back to the gatekeepers just wanting you to jump through their hoops, and it's
like dance monkey.
Yeah, exactly. And those are the kinds of hoops that I said fuck you to a long time ago, and I've always been saying that. So
I'm the same way. No, you gotta be. It's such a waste of time. Like I feel like I do the same thing. I turn down like the coolest fucking opportunities because it's just not what I want to do. Like half this shit. Like people just die for. If they're like, oh man, I really just want that one opportunity. It'll be like a Tuesday, and I'm like, fuck this, or like a fucking whatever day. I'm just like whatever day. I'm just like, fuck this. I can't do this right now. Like guest speaking or something. Like I ran for office, and people ask me to speak everywhere, and I'm just like, no. every fucking time almost. Like,
at the end of the day, you got to do things your way.
That's the only. Yeah, that's what I think. I think so. Especially as an artist. I mean, I think art allows you to do that. Like it allows you. It kind of gives you the cheat code where you don't have to fucking like do all this dumb shit. Like I don't know.
Well, that's why we do what we do. It's to not play those types of games.
Yeah, I always forget what a job's like.
If we were great at those kinds of games, we could be doing some corporate gig that paid, a shit ton of money and be doing that whole lifestyle. But I think that's why we're doing what we do, is because we didn't want that.
It's like I don't even want to grab my own coffee. I fucking would suck at corporate. Like this motherfucker's like, you start out everywhere. Like, give me coffee. I'm like, fuck off. I couldn't even imagine. I mean, I had to have a job for like a second, like at a radio station. I think I was telling you about this, but it was a great opportunity, cool people, nothing bad. But it was just like, dude, like fucking waking up at 5 to fucking talk for 3 hours. It's just what a fucking shit show. It was just like not my best business plan. It's like it's just like fuck, man.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's funny when you told me that you had a morning show gig, because like you said, those are the coveted.
That's what everybody wants. Yeah.
Yeah. Those are the coveted gigs that has, the highest listener participation or whatever. And everybody launches people into other career opportunities, but I mean, I can't imagine trying to do that grind,
No, it's just like a kid's game. Like you felt like it's like one of those situations, like if you're in like movies, like you felt like everyone else in the room blew Harvey Weinstein, and you're just like bored. You're like, meh. You're like, yeah, I don't know if this is for me. It's like I don't know if this whole thing. It's like I don't know. I feel like I just like turn down so many people's dreams like daily. Like, I was like, but I don't know, I'm able to talk. Like, this is why we just had you just recorded a bunch of songs for the show. If I told my 16-year-old self, or like in myself even now, like from like the whole range, that Smile Empty Soul would play acoustic on my fucking podcast, or I wouldn't even know what a podcast was, but on my show, you know what I mean? I'd be like, they're gonna play on your podcast. They're like, what the fuck's a podcast, you know? And that
while you have like digital goggles on and grass as your background at an Airbnb, you know, it's
oh, it's great. No, that's what I'm saying. That's why I could turn down these radio things. That's why you can turn down these record label things. You're already doing. If you're already doing what you want to do, like what's the incentive to do anything? They're like,
yeah,
they're like,
and that's the greatest freedom of all. Is what you've got right now and what I've got right now. We're talking to each other and reaching the people that like what we do and making enough money to survive and fuck everybody else, you know.
Dude, yeah, no, that's that's great. We learned a lot today. On this episode. Right. No, it's just no, it's crazy. I like looked at my week this week, like as far as guests, like I'm like, this is nuts. This is like fucking like crazy, like peak childhood dreams. You know, it's like that's what it's about. And I think being a rock star is probably the same feeling. That's why I'm even bringing it up. Because most people I can't even like fucking say it. If I tell most people, they're like, well, I don't know, like like I have to like, they can't relate to it. Just like it's freedom. Yeah. It's complete artistic freedom, and I love this shit. I think everyone should achieve it. Everyone should achieve it in whatever way they want. Not everybody's supposed to be an artist, but I mean, fucking. You mean they should achieve? They should just be happy whatever the fuck they do. You know,
it's the ultimate satisfaction. You know, it's to me it means more as far as success goes. You know, than any amount of money. You know, or any material possessions or anything like that. Is to just have the freedom to do what you want to do, and what you need to do. And my daughter just picked the lock and came in the door. What, Nora? Hey. What?
They don't want to keep our money.
Who?
The swim lesson academy.
Oh, good. Hey, you want to say hi real quick?
Yeah.
This is Anthony.
Hi.
How you doing?
All right, now get out of here. So yeah, freedom is a good thing. I get to stay home with this kid, and I mean, I tour, but when I am home, I stay home with this kid, and we paint stuff and hang out and talk, and it's wonderful.
That's awesome. Yeah, it's like sometimes I want $1 million, and sometimes I just want to fucking sleep till 2. You know, it's just like that whole thing. Like you're probably more responsible than me if you have kids and stuff, but I don't know. I just feel like that. I'm like I'd rather just like sit around and do whatever the fuck I want to do. You know, so you have to be both. You have to work hard too, though. I mean, otherwise you can't even do that. You know, if I like you have to learn when to put the pedal to the metal and actually get some shit done, or else and if you didn't know how to do that and I didn't know how to do that, we wouldn't be here doing what we're doing. So it's a balance. Yeah. No, for sure, dude. I was telling you this too. I think I want to. I would want to see like a fucking like country gospel song, but I think it would kill. And you don't even have to do it. You can tell me to fuck off. But I'm saying I think it would personally kill. Like because like you tap into that market that already has a huge fucking like. You could probably go platinum off a country gospel song. I would challenge you. to go platinum off a country gospel song almost.
I'm up for the challenge, and I would actually like to do that at some point. That sounds kind of fun, and I enjoy that kind of music too. So
I bet it would go platinum. I see this weird opening. He's like if I was talented, I would take it. You know what I mean? And I think about it sometimes. Like I get in that mindset where I'm like, oh man, I should just like make a band and like just like tour all these like southern places. Is like, but I'm like, I don't want to fucking do that. I don't want to go anywhere. You know, it's like I'll do comedy sometimes. Like I don't want to. You know what I mean? Like I'll probably tour once my boss is done, but like I just don't want to. I don't know. Music's too much work, and it's like not my thing. I'm just not. I'd be faking it. You know?
Yeah.
I wouldn't be authentic to myself almost at this time, you know.
You got to do what's your genuine, true passion. I mean, that's what it's all about. That's how you can, people that are faking it, the audience can tell. So it's like boring. The reason you're successful is because you're doing what you genuinely. You're being you.
Same with you. Is your daughter play music?
She's got her own little guitar, and she's got a bunch of we got a piano that she jams on, but her number one thing is art. She's quite the little artist, so we just let her be creative, and that'll take her wherever she wants to go, hopefully one of these days.
It's
right
awesome.
now, twirling a key is her favorite thing. Nora, you gotta go. Okay, I'll be right out.
Imagine her saying that in like 10 years or something like that. Like how funny that's gonna be. Like that's the advantage, like people in public, like and people that grow up as like kid around the public guy, you know, like they'll get to see themselves documented like weird ways in interviews and shit. Like you know what I mean? This is gonna be on the internet for however long. You know, we have no idea how long it's gonna be on the internet, but it's gonna be on there for like 20 years or something. People in the future see that, you know.
That's right. Document this for the future.
Yeah, just like see yourself in like 20 years or something. That's crazy to think about.
All right, you got to go. Okay, I'll be right out. My wife is supposed to be wrangling on wrangling duty, but she's not doing it right now.
Kid just wants to kick it, man. Probably. I'd be doing the same shit, bro. If I was a kid, you know, like. Oh yeah. I see both sides of that. Well, yeah, no, look at I won't talk your often, man. Like, but people, yeah, no, thanks for like fucking killing on those acoustic songs, man. Like, if people want to see that, like, I'll see. I haven't recorded it. I haven't edited yet, so I mean, I don't know what I'm talking about. But they'll be in episodes. I'll probably do sporadic episodes and like single episodes like YouTube and stuff. Like,
awesome.
So yeah, Sean did some acoustic songs for the show, and like we're gonna see how fucking awesome it goes. And thank you for your time, man. Appreciate it.
Do what you will with them, and I, like I said, I appreciate you having me on and helping me out with promotion, and it's always a good time to chat. So
no, likewise, man. Like, thank you for doing the show, man. And
for sure. Cool. Yeah, so this song is called Exodus. It's on our new album Black Pilled that came out in October. And this song is really about fleeing places like LA, which is where I'm from, in the midst of these times and all the adversity that's going on. It's a good time to get away from cities and a good time to start something new in an area that's a little less crazy. So my wife and I fled LA in 2013, and we live in rural Arkansas now, and one of the best decisions we've ever made. And so our situation was inspiration for the song. Although we fled a long time ago, I kind of imagined us still being there and what it would be like, and it led to this. So I hope you enjoy it.
Drain from running this race. I see the same damn looking, same damn face. There's the saying that you see to the soul. All you see in this town is a deep black hole. Lost again, and there's nothing to say. We don't make a move, we might be here to stay. We should pack our shit and get out of LA. I hear a little voice coming from a better place. Voice coming from a better place. Freedom comes and freedom goes. Getting tired of living with freedom's cover that mouth and cover that nose. Think it's time for the slaughter to gun and shoot go. Feeling lost again, and there's nothing to say. We don't make our moves, we might be here to stay. We should pack your shit and get out of LA. Hear your voice coming from a better place. Hear your voice coming from a better place. Yeah. Lost again, and there's nothing to say. We don't make our moves, we might be here to stay. We should pack your shit and get out of LA. Hear a new voice coming from a better place. Hear a new voice coming from a better place.
Yeah, I'll probably just cut it on that and then like start another one. Like that was killed.
So this song is called Alone, and it's a song I wrote way back. Like I think I was like 18 when I wrote this song, and I had demoed it for the first album, but we ended up just not putting it on there for whatever reason, and it didn't get an official release until 2017 when we put out our Rarities record. But we had released it softly before that, just like on YouTube. I think it was kicking around. And I play it a lot when I do acoustic tours or acoustic shows. People seem to really dig it. And I think the lyrics, even though it was written so long ago, kind of, apply to today's world in an interesting way. So I thought it'd be a good one to play. So here it goes. Step down on the shelf. I'm not worth the airplane. Cleaned all day and bed. So this next song is our biggest song we ever released. It was the first single off of our first record called Bottom of a Bottle. And it was by far the most successful tune. And, it's kind of propped up my career for 20 years now. So as tired of playing it as I am, I appreciate it and what it's done for us. And there's a whole bunch of people that song reached that most of our other music hasn't. So, and we also, I re-recorded it as an acoustic version on an all acoustic kind of sessions EP that I released in, I believe it's 2018. And I think it turned out really cool. So it comes across acoustically pretty well. And, figured I'd jam it out here today for you.
Myself, is something wrong with you? Girlfriend told me need some time alone to deal with issues. Something makes me carry on. Difficult to understand why you always wanna fly. Do it for the drugs. Just to feel alive. Love that I get from the bottom. You always call me and ask me how I make it through the day. I'm always falling. Guess it's just God's way of making me pay. Something makes me carry on. Difficult to understand why you always wanna fight. I do it for the jokes. Do it just to feel alive. Then again from the bottom of I wonder why I try. I wonder why I bother. Do it for the joy.